is the KJ Show with KJ Carson on Boston Sports Original, WEEI.
So if the trade deadline were today, then would you be a buyer or a seller?
Yeah, we would be looking to improve our team. We'd be looking to improve our team for 2025 because despite the fact that we haven't been able to strung together the consistent performance that we think we're capable of, we're still very much staring down wild card chances, and nobody has really run away with the AL East. And so as we start to get healthy and we start to look externally about ways that we can improve the team, we think we've got a good chance to make a deep postseason run.
Yeah. KJ Show, WEEI. Thank you so much for starting your Sunday here. 617-779-7937. Don't forget the rubber match with the Toronto Blue Jays today here on WEEI. You don't want to miss that coverage coming up later. That was Craig Breslow earlier this week on the Greg Hill Show saying, and it's funny because it's like, why would you have to say 2025 when we know we're in 2025? He's going to tell you that he's a buyer until he's not a buyer. And I'm not buying it. I mean, just to hear me out on this in regards to Craig Breslow. And I'm going to paint the bigger picture regarding the team. And you may not like what I'm going with, but just follow me for a second, okay? I think the Red Sox are really more into the marketing to the consumer than they are to winning the pennant. Okay? Companies are always trying to figure out, how do we reach Gen Z? How do we reach young millennials? How do we get them to get interested in a sport that most of them just said, I don't want to go outside and play. I'll just be on my computer and my tablet. This is not KJ Old Man on the Cloud. Just follow my theory here for a second. So when you have the flashing lights at the end of a win, which, is there a warning on the tickets like, hey, if you're prone to seizures, you may want to leave before the game is over. I'm not kidding, but kind of kidding. Or playing a Sweet Caroline, even if you're getting drubbed, it's an experience more so than it is a game. All right? I get it, but it feels like there's a little off-kilter balance leaning more to the consumer than it is to the actual product. Now, I will say this. All over industries across America and throughout the world, they would not be the first ones that are not really minding the store at the store level and thinking more about the office level. That's not the first situation. But I would ask you this. Have you ever seen the Dodgers alternate jersey? What color is it? Brian, have you seen a Dodgers alternate jersey?
I have not.
Yeah, there you go. With the New York Yankees, and I hate to use it. Have you seen an alternate jersey for them? Like a City Connect kind of cool jersey? What color is it? It's the team colors. The Red Sox Connects aren't even red. There's no red. Like, if you brought someone from a foreign land and said, I'm taking you to a Red Sox game, and they'll ask, where's the red? It's marketing. And when you do that, watch this. High-quality players is not really at the forefront of your mind. Paying a lot of money for a player, not at the front of your mind. Why? Man, they love those Fenway Green City Connects, or they love those Boston Marathon City Connects. How's the connecting on the batting average? The star we just brought up, everybody loves. We're selling Roman hats soon. We're going to be selling Roman hats. Batting 170. It's a business. This is just one of those towns and one of those fan bases that wants to see a winner more so than having a pineapple beer. Even though that might be very popular. It sounds tasty. Just maybe a little too early this morning. Well, I am going to play How High before the show is out. I figure once the show's over, I probably need to play How High. But yeah. So you get rid of Mookie, and the only trace left of the Mookie trade is Connor Wong. Oh, Mookie's over there playing in Royal Dodger blue, and they're spending up everything. They're not trying to get some cool people to come out to the Ravine. gonna go Dodger Brown to represent the city. No, they're not doing that. It's win baseball games. Everything else will fall in line. The Yankees going to take the pinstripes off for a couple of days? Oh, yeah. Sell these jerseys. No, they'll pay for winning and try and make it. In fact, as they've been struggling, they do sit top of the AL East. But, man, we've got cool City Connect jerseys, man. Those things are really, really cool. And it's part of the business that says there's it's the Red Sox are in the pleasure business. I mean, I kind of get it. I do from a business perspective. KJ, what do you do during the week? I monitor stuff like my kid and businesses. So you don't put a big star name out there. That's why I don't believe for a second any big name is coming here during the trade deadline. No. 617-779-7937. Let's get your text messages. Brian, what you got?
413 text saying, hey, KJ, if the Sox go down the drain and they end up firing Cora, will he become the next Brady and Marchand and win when he coaches his next team? And I would like to personally add Bruce Cassidy to that list.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. It was just like, are they using the Bruins model? If you even remembered, going before that, the guy before Cassidy gets canned during the Red Sox parade, right? So
Claude Julien, correct? Yeah,
Claude Julien gets axed during the Red Sox parade. So there is a history there. Oh, that's a real possibility. I do believe that Alex Cora is a top 5 manager in baseball. But that deals with the game of baseball. Again, look, this is nothing against the City Connect jerseys or anything like that. They're just not red. It's the Red Sox. Like, even, do you know at one time, like, you ever look at this old historic baseball stuff, the Chicago White Sox had red in their color. I'm like, what? That would be the Red Sox. But now the Red Sox don't even have red in their connects. I mean, at this point, why not just put the last names on the home jerseys? Oh, no, because then you'd have to recognize names, and that could cost money, and therefore you'd have to, no, we just get the sales by just selling a generic number. When we sell a 16, we sell a 16. That's why you see Roman Anthony come up there with his minor league number. You're like, okay, that's his minor league number. You put him in a 19, you go, huh? Really? I mean, I know, like, dude got traded, but, like, how often does a guy win Rookie of the Year and MVP of the league and then see somebody else running around and use a number? It's just strange. Strange. But, hey, you know, it is much easier to market a 19 than it is a 56 or something, whatever that number was. 59. Another text. What you got?
781 text saying Roman Anthony isn't a DH. What happens to him when Yoshida comes back?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's a great question. A couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, when we're starting to discuss what's the future of Campbell and how you handle these rookies when they're coming up. You remember at one point people were screaming about Rafaela, like, get him out of this dude. This is better than nice. Rafaela's hitting 250. And at the time I said, and this is, look, I'm not one of these baseball, all these super nerds, Nerds! I'm not that guy, but I said, with guys coming up for the minors, you're not expecting them to come up and hit 300. You probably say the watermark is somewhere around 235. If you can get them to 235, they can stay, because 235 to 250 isn't that far off. And then let's say going into next year, how do we turn them from a 250 to maybe a 265, 270 hitter? All right, so Rafael he's a 250 hitter. That's why he's still here. With Campbell, it just wasn't happening. What's going to happen with Roman Anthony? I mean, when you go 3 for 6 in a game and your average is now to 170, there's a lot of misses in there. There are more misses in there than spring break at Cabo. That was horrible. Let's not use that material again. But I think Roman Anthony goes back to Worcester. Because, again, if the Sox are buyers, where does this person play if you're buying? I mean, you're not going to go pay for a second baseman. I don't know if you know this. There's only been 20 players in the history of Major League Baseball that have played second base and has gone as Hall of Famers. Ryan Sandberg is the most recently. This is why Pedroia probably gets in, because there's just nobody there. But the two before him, Rod Carew played more games at first base than he played at second and went into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame as a second baseman. So if you've got a decent second baseman, you train him up well. So, no, you're not going to go get a second baseman. You're not going to get anybody to replace Trevor Story because the contract is just so bloated. Nobody's going to touch it. You almost have to tell yourself you appreciate the great defense you get from him, the steadiness that you didn't have there for a couple of years, and he's not injured, right? Like, you just have to be grateful in that situation. Bregman is talking about he wants an extension, but this is where I think Breslow's kind of got an up on Bregman and why he doesn't talk to him. I wouldn't talk to Bregman right now. I'm getting great third base play out of Mayer. What's my hurry for Bregman to re-sign him? If I'm on the cheap right now, and so now I guess the person you're going to get in free agency that's going to be a name is going to be a first baseman, a right fielder, a left fielder, all-star center fielder for Sedane. I don't see. This is why I tell you I don't believe any big name is coming through. Like, if Breslow had to say the year, we're buyers for 2025. Hello, we're in 2025. No one's asking about 2028. Nobody's asking about that. They want to know now. And I really believe that this is how you kind of string things on. This is why suddenly, oh yeah, man, Yoshida may return. You would ask yourself, for what?
We're looking to improve our team for 2025.
Yeah, what is that? A script? I wonder if it has that 2-0 and then that empty dash in where you feel.
I was surprised he didn't pause before saying it. We're building for 2025.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, bro, that's what the question. I don't think Greg is asking you a question in the future. I love the Greg Hill show. It sits very well in where the market has developed over these last several years.
Hey,
but
Greg.
But they're not asking futuristic, smart, intelligent questions about 3 years from now. They're asking about, like, tomorrow.
They jealous us.
Let me go through the roster that you saw put up 15 runs again yesterday. And I ask you, is this more designed so that way you can sell the shirts or sell the team on the field? Duran, Anthony, Toro, Nevarez, Abreu, Trevor Story, Gonzalez, Sogard, Rafaela. Pass that pineapple beer, man. Pass it. What are the Red Sox slowly becoming like the Pittsburgh Pirates plus? Is this what we're going to do? I mean, look, remember when Jeter Downs, because you were like, there's hope. He could play second. His family's in town. Gone. Nah, never worked out. He was supposed to be like, that's the gem in the Mookie deal. That's the gem. That's how's Mookie doing? Still telling yourself in the mirror he didn't want to be here? He didn't want to be here? He didn't want to be here? How many times do you have to say in the mirror Candyman before Candyman shows up? Is it 3 or 5? I can't remember. But yeah, you're almost at Candyman status when you're saying, well, Mookie didn't want to be here. And that's not true. What did you get back in for that? Alex Verdugo, yeah, how that work out, as my buddy Four Eyes would say. And now here we are on the verge of wondering, are they going to be a buyer? Buyer of what? What did they buy when they called San Francisco? What did they buy? If Rafael Devers was going out the door to San Francisco, like what? You couldn't do a deal for maybe Yaz, little Yaz, and a couple other people or something that's going to sell something that says Red Sox, not green and yellow and blue. You got kids in Los Angeles wearing City Connect Boston Bruins hats and saying that it's actually, no, this is really for UCLA, man. Like, what? Even when I look at the Blue Jays, who are, look, they're a decent team. They're ahead of the Red Sox, so it's more decent than what you got. But they're putting a couple of names out there, and they're in Canada. Like they decided to hang on to Vlad Jr. Now, do the Red Sox have any? Now, if that's the ultimate play, then while Breslow couldn't say out loud, hey, we want to, we're going to be buyers for 2025. If having all these young guys up here to prove themselves a little bit at the major league level is all about maybe making a move to take on, say a Vlad Jr.'s contract, then okay, you're getting a reset, right? Where Bloom has got, I'm not sorry, oh my gosh, I've got Hein Bloom. I'm having Hein Bloom feelings again. Where Breslow has kind of gotten things right is with the pitching staff, right? Giolito looked great yesterday, went more than 7 innings. So clearly he's recovered, and in all the hiccups that's going on with this pitching staff this year, when it's good, it's been really good, and when it's been bad, it's been pretty bad at times. But it's much better than it has been over the last couple of years, and so Breslow has gotten that right. There's a little bit of intelligence. If you say Giolito can continue to go at the rate that he's going, you might say that this is a guy that you would say, all right, they've got a great deal. They could pick up they have the option on him. Based on how many innings he pitches this year, he might get close to it, may go over it. And at least if you have to address whatever going on with Brian Bayo, I think that's just something that has to be figured out, because let's just call it what it is. That clock is ticking on Bayo. You at least have other pieces in place that are holding up things, right? Like who was the number one starter last year? Tanner Houck, right? That's not the conversation now. If anything, you're saying, all right, maybe it looks smart. You did a 1 year with Walker Buehler, so Buehler has the incentive to prove versus just say, well, maybe next year will be better. It's just been rough this year. No, like get it together now to figure out either if you're going to be part of the future plans or not. So Breslow has done it. I just don't want it to make it seem like Breslow just gets this D+ in my mind. The pitching has been addressed very well, but the guys who are playing every day has not been. All right, Boston Lust or Boston Love? We play that next here on the KJ Show. 617-779-7937. Calls and texts next here on WEEI.